Hi and welcome to this edition of Out the Box. My name's Paul. Today we're going to have a look at what is, well, maybe not in this box, it's probably more in this bag, and unfortunately already this bag is an empty bag, so let's call it out of the bag. Today we're actually going to be looking at the Ubiquiti Flexi patch cables. These are Cat 6 cables, category 6 cables that have flexible ends, designed really to be able to do a load of more close-up patching. Right, let me just show you what they are and we'll just talk about them in a minute. So there are varying lengths of these. So we're going to start at the smallest. This is commonly called the 22 centimeter, but Ubiquiti have recently started referring to this as the 10 centimeter just to confuse things. So actually what they're referring to is the length of cable from connector to connector. So you have 10 centimeters of cable and these connectors are 6 centimeters each. So we have a 22 centimeter version. We have a 30 centimeter version, but that might be 30 centimeters of cable in the middle and the two 6 centimeter connectors on the end. We then have 1 meters, we have 3 meters, 5 meters, and 8 meters as well. So we've got quite a nice selection, but what is the benefit of these? So obviously if you're trying to do a lot of small patching, so you've got a switch here and just right next to it, maybe you've got your router or you've got your patch panel where you've got all of your cables coming in from the rest of your building or your house or whatever it is. Often we end up having to use longer lengths of cable because we're going to connect them like this, and traditionally you can only get maybe a 50 centimeter cable, and so it works okay. But we could actually, if we shorten that length, we can make a neater, tidier setup. But to shorten that length, we often end up putting more strain on the connector that's here. The great thing with these Ubiquiti connectors, let me just lift them up here so you can have a proper look, all right, is that they are truly flexible. So you can see I've bent that into position. I've actually moved it back somewhat to its side angle, so you can see the shape that I've managed to get that in. This obviously means that ultimately you can get into some awkward spaces. You can get to some places where normally it would be maybe difficult to be able to push a normal RJ45 connector in because you can't get your fingers in there. You do have this small stem. You can obviously bend it and be able to push it in place. If you've got a fairly tight rack, and again, you've got not much space coming out the front, this allows us to make a neater connection. But obviously you can imagine the shorter the length that we have here, the shorter the amount of cable that we need to have, and we can potentially connect two switches together. Let me just set that up for you. Those are probably about 1 U apart, really neatly like this. So a fantastically versatile connector. It's worthwhile if you're wanting to make a neat setup in your rack, if you're needing to maybe flex the ends of these and want to keep them properly protected so that there isn't any splits, or what traditionally happens is all of your cables start to come out of the back of your RJ45 actual connector. So like I said, there's a 22 centimeter, there's a 30 centimeter, there's a 1 meter, there's a 3 meter, there's a 5 meter, and there's an 8 meter. They're in, currently you can get them in white, you can get them in blue, and you can also get them in black. So hopefully that's been useful. Do head on over to our YouTube channel, loads more box openings or bag openings on wireless networking and firewalls. How to set up a Unify Protect network, how to set up a Unify network with your switches and access points, plenty of how-to guides, even how to secure your network with a firewall. So do head on over there and subscribe and stay up to date.